audience. Every time I start one of these courses, I feel like I need to do some kind of intro and not just jump straight into it. But I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Do a dance or some shit. So we're gonna get straight to it. I have met Hollywood actors, Idris Elba. I've met Donald Trump Jr., the son of the president. I've met basically every big person in politics on the right on Twitter. I've met here in Romania absolutely everybody who's anybody, actors, singers, etc., etc. And I've done this very, very deliberately. And it's one of those things very similar to, let's say, girls, where once you get started, once you begin the process, it becomes easier. Once you start and you start getting a few girls, you end up with lots and lots of girls. Once you start meeting important and influential people, you'll meet lots and lots of important and influential people. But there are lots of mistakes that most people make when it comes to networking themselves to the top. And that's what this course is going to be about. It's going to be a long list of mistakes not to make. And it's also going to explain the psychology of networking. What most people don't understand is as follows. There's huge psychology involved in networking. And there's three elements. The first element is, you don't know who I know. So if you go to meet somebody, let's say you're at an event and you meet someone, and that person happens to know the president, unless they're obviously overtly in the White House, unless they're overtly a member of the White House staff, or they're a loudmouth, you may have no idea they know the president. If I didn't advertise the fact just now, or put the picture on Instagram, nobody would have a clue that Donald Trump Jr. and I speak to each other. No one would have a clue. So firstly, a lot of people don't overtly advertise who they know. Secondly, most people, when they do get a connection of influence that's important, they don't want to give that away. So most people don't want to give that away for a variety of reasons. One, because they're afraid of getting sidetracked and cut out. And two, because people are petty and jealous. That's how people are. So if I have a very important connection, and I know that introducing you to that connection is going to improve your life, what's my motivation to do that? Why would I want to do that?
Prepare for battle.
And the second thing is, if I do that and it works out particularly well and you two become best buddies, then I've just been cut out the picture perhaps. And that important person has one more friend. He's doing business with you. I'm not getting anything. So what's the advantage to it? So you have to understand that people are very secretive about who they know. And even if they do tell you who they know, they're very guarding of it. And thirdly, and this is the largest reason, is it's impossible to refer someone without also referring your reputation. So if I were to go to someone who I know is important and say, this guy can do this, and I refer you, and you fuck up, that impacts me. Even if I say, I don't know the guy that well, but I've heard he's okay. Even if I try and disassociate myself, if you do a shit job, that impacts me. So when people are referring you and you're trying to network, what's really happening is people are recommending you, but they're they're putting their trust on the line to recommend you. So once again, they need a motivator to do that. The whole networking scene is down to motivators. And what most people make the mistake of doing is they run around trying to talk to everybody without motivating anybody ever to refer them. And that's the biggest mistake. So we have two ways we can look at this.
Look me in the eye.
Everybody you meet, it doesn't matter if you meet the president or you meet somebody at the bottom of the chain, you need to do the same thing. So if you're very lucky and you walk into the room and you see the president there, that's fantastic. But most likely you're going to see somebody far less important, and if you do a very good job, you can network your way to the top. When I met Idris and I was put on that TV show, I didn't meet him first. I knew a lot of people who knew a lot of people, and I ended up there. So it's going to be very unlikely you're going to meet the person you want to meet straight away. Assuming that's the case, there's a few very basic rules. These are super basic. And these are things I shouldn't have to say. Introduce yourself, be confident, body language is all explained in the body language course. Be sure of yourself, don't be arrogant. And third, and one of the most important things, important people, especially super important people, they're not really that interested in you. You have to understand that it's a very fine balance. People think, I'm going to meet this guy. I need to prove to this guy I'm worth something. But also, you don't want to sit there and tell the president about what you do for a job. He doesn't give a shit. He's the president. Compared to him, you're a nobody. So you have to really understand the balance of asking them questions while also validating yourself. So instead of saying, if I were to meet an important person, and let's say that important person was in banking, for example. If If I sit there and go, I'm a millionaire, I did this, I did that, I made money, and da-da-da-da, he ain't gonna give a fuck. The dude could be getting £1 million a week. So instead I'd say, yeah, I'm actually looking for a banking solution. When I'm trying to move large sums of money, I'm struggling to get it done. What is the best banking solution? What would you recommend for someone living in Europe? So what I've done there is validate me as a person. I've explained that I make large sums of money. But I've also stroked his ego by asking him a question and engaging him in a conversation. That is completely different from me sitting there and talking shit, and it's completely different from only asking him questions. So you have to find a way to validate yourself while also engaging him and asking questions and stroking his ego. Important people are arrogant. You're never going to meet an important person who's not arrogant. All of them are. So stroking their ego is always a good idea. Not in a pathetic way, because I'm not going to respect you, but just respecting their position and their intelligence and their knowledge and asking for something. That's it. There's a whole bunch of shit these people know that you don't know. That's the whole reason you want to network with them in the first place. So that's an important point. Next, and this is very key, and this could be a whole section itself. Networking is expensive. The key to networking is having money. And I say this all the time. If you meet someone who's more important than you, you're paying for everything. It doesn't matter how expensive the drinks are, how expensive the dinner is. You need to pay for it. You need to absolutely insist. No, please, no, it was a pleasure to meet you. It's on me. It's on me. They don't give a fuck about money, but it just proves a point. It allows you to have some kind of dominance and hold your own as a man. If you go to dinner with a really important person, and that person pays for the dinner, do you think that same person is going to trust you with thousands and thousands of dollars when you're sitting there taking a free dinner with a little dork? No. So you have to pay for the dinner. That's the first thing. You got to look good when you turn up. You got to turn up in these very expensive places like you've been there 1,000 times before. You cannot be impressed by anything. You can't be like, oh wow, this food's great. Oh, this wine. Oh yeah, this is a really nice restaurant.
You were doing
it's
very
just a
well.
Restaurant.
I'm very proud.
It doesn't matter if you end up on a private jet for the first time in your life. You don't say a word. Completely unimpressed. Like you've done it 1,000 times. These are the basic things. If you're gonna sit there and go, wow, 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 then he's gonna show that you're much lower down than him. People at the top, they don't really want to do business or network with people below them. Why would they? They want to do business with people on the same level of them as them, or people maybe slightly below, but they have a good motivator to elevate these individuals. If you're making it super clear you've never lived this kind of lifestyle, then you're going to struggle. So you're not impressed by anything. You're paying for everything when you're around someone more important than you. When Idris and I were in Thailand training for his fight, every time we go out, I pay.
Of course.
I was like, oh, I wouldn't even, because it wouldn't be offering. Just the bill would come, I just put the money down, we'd walk off. Now Idris had more money than me, but I just whatever. It's a point of dominance. It's a point of, yeah, you're the Hollywood actor, but you're not the only motherfucker around here who has some money. And at the time, I didn't even have that much money. But I'm not a little bitch. I'm not going to let him pay for it. Because he's the more important one than I am. So that's a very important thing. Secondly, when it comes to money, it's super important because networking is about chances. It is super rare that someone's going to say to you, come here at this time and you're guaranteed to meet X. That's not how networking works. Networking is about taking a chance. Taking chances is expensive. When I met Donald Trump Jr., he said, if you're around on these dates, I might be free for half. And I was in Romania. How many people fly from Romania to New York, 3,000 miles, and sit there for a week for a maybe on 30 minutes? Most people go, I can't do that. Or they'll say, can we guarantee, what about this? And they pressure the dude. And then the dude's going to say, well, I can't guarantee. I've got a very busy schedule. How can I guarantee you? I'm the son of the president. I've got a super busy schedule. I've never met you. I don't know you. Meeting you is really not going to benefit me that much. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm not going to guarantee you a thing. If I tried to pressure him and said, okay, what about this day, this time, this day, this time, to try and get my guarantee, he would have bailed. So instead I said, yeah, okay, I'm around. And I flew there, and I spent X amount of thousands of dollars, and it paid off. There's been times I've done similar things for other important people, and it hasn't paid off. So this is the reality of networking. Networking is never going to be guaranteed. So because it's not guaranteed, you have to have the ability to take your chances, and that is expensive. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend that networking is cheap. Absolutely not cheap. You have to be prepared to go somewhere at a whim, turn up, and see if that person has it. And maybe they don't. But you have to be there, right place, right time. Be in the right place at the right time. Certainly. So that's the money. Now we're talking about motivations. And like all my courses, there's lots of information. It's like a PhD course. There's lots of information coming at you. I don't care how many times you have to watch this. I don't care if it's take notes, break it down, whatever. I don't sit and do little chapters. I speak to motivators. There's only two, in fact, three genuine motivators that are going to allow someone to refer you. Because that's all networking is. It's referrals. If you meet someone for the first time, you just explain. Hey, Ferret, introduce yourself. Don't waste the person's time. Make sure you stroke their ego with the questions. Validate yourself while also allowing them to validate themselves. So they're happy being the dominant person, being Mr. Important. Those are the key things. Most networking is going to come from referrals. Someone is going to recommend you. So look at me here. You know who I am. I have access to the president's son. Why do I not recommend you to the president's son? Well, the reason for that is, one, because I'm putting my reputation on it. And two, the other three motivators I'm talking about. So there's three motivators. I'm only going to recommend you to somebody else, president's son or anyone, for A, money, B, because I really like you, or C, because it raises my status. These are the only three motivators that are going to take someone and make them put conscious effort into taking one of their relationships and sharing it with you. So we're talking about the first one, money. It's very easy to go through the world and think, oh, I've got the people and I promise them they'll make lots of money and everyone's going to network with me because I've got this great business. It's all bullshit. One, your great business is not nearly as great as you think it is. Two, telling people about your great business. Most people don't give a shit. And most people aren't going to believe in you. I mean, the thing is about businesses, none of them are really that sexy. Starbucks. If you were to walk around and say, oh, I'm going to start this coffee shop, people would be like, oh, whatever. Now it's successful. It's a successful business. But if you were, before it started, if you were walking around trying to pitch it to people, try to network, and we're going to have this coffee shop, we're going to sell carrot cake, no one's going to buy it. So business ideas are really not that sexy to talk about, even though you think they are. And the ones that are usually complicated and different. You've got to have someone's attention, and they have to trust you, know who you are as a person to really take you seriously. So money's quite difficult, because if you think you can go and you email me now and say, Tate, I have an idea. If you introduce me to the president, and he buys it, and I'll give you 25%. I'm not going to. So money is actually one of the things that probably becomes later on. People have to trust you first, they have to know you first, they have to like you first, and then you can add in a monetary motivation. If I've done business with you for 4 or 5 years, and I know you very well, and I know you're competent, and I know you don't make mistakes, you don't fuck up, I know I can trust you, I know I recommend you, you're not going to embarrass you. And then you say, look, do you know any people who could achieve X, Y, and Z, because that would allow me to make X amount of money, and you're going to get a percent of it, then you can motivate me. Because that's the money. Next, because I really like it. This can happen. You can be liked by important people. If you're liked by important people, you can really like places by important people. You can introduce other important people. Being liked is a skill within itself. I've just basically explained to you how to be liked by important people. It is as simple as that. You validate yourself while allowing them to talk about themselves. Because important people love themselves. Because important people have spent a lot of time and energy and effort in building themselves. Unless you're born important, which a few are, morons. In general, important people have put in a lot of work to becoming themselves. And even if they haven't put in a lot of work, they think they have. Look at fucking Pitbull, the worst singer in the world. A loser, basically. But if you were to ask him how he got there, how did you become a famous recording artist? Do you think he'd say luck, or would he say, oh, I just really work hard? People believe they work hard. Everyone likes to believe that their success is down to work, and nothing to do with luck. So everyone who's important believes they're a hard worker. So with this in mind, they are egotistical. So you have to stroke that ego, because they've spent a long time building themselves up. So you have to do it in a way that you don't embarrass yourself. This is nuance. I can't teach you this. This is something that's going to take some skill. Get the body language course, it's going to help. It's going to certainly help you. The second is going to take some skill. I gave you one example earlier. Validate yourself while also asking them questions. Make sure you look like you're paying attention. Try and be a little bit witty, a little bit funny. And just validate yourself and use your own personality. I can't give you my personality. When I met important people, the conversations were always free-flowing. They always went well. I always validated myself while allowing them to talk and allowing them to basically stroke their own ego because they love themselves. And there's nothing wrong with them loving themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Two examples. We use these. I'm more than that before. If you were to email me and say, Tate, teach me. And now I'm going to fight. If you were to message me and say, Tate, I've watched the video. Genuinely believe you're the best striker in the battle. But you need to validate yourself. You can say, I've been training for 10 or 12 years and I really enjoy it. There's some things you do that I can't quite do. I was wondering about that. That, one, validates you, two, strokes my ego, and you're far more likely to move on than if you just email me, teach me how to punch, or teach me how to punch for money. Because it's making me like you. This is an important thing. And thirdly is status. If, in certain situations, especially if you're a cool enough dude, as I am, people who may have high-level connections will feel more comfortable or feel like it's going to raise their status if they introduce you to their connections. And this is going to happen as you elevate. This is not going to happen at the bottom. As you elevate, this is going to happen. So with me, for example, now, because I've got some money, because I've got some nice cars, because I'm always with hot girls, there's people who think, this guy's, I'm going to go meet him at the club. You know what, I'm going to bring Tate. Because if I bring Tate, I roll up in a Lambo, and there's going to be 10 chicks with us. So he's using me for to raise his status than just going on his own. And that's fine, because I'm using him to meet the people. So if you start becoming important yourself, you're going to have people who use you to raise their status. So those are the three motivators: status, money, and because people like you. Now you're only going to be able to pull off any of these three: your status, people liking you, or even money, if you have genuine relationships. The idea of walking through a business conference with your business card. Hi, here's my card. I do accounting. I'm the best accountant. I'm a really good accountant. I guarantee I'll save you money. Yeah, here's an accountant. Hi, I'm a really good accountant. Yeah, you might get some, it's basically cold calling. You might get some calls. I'm not saying it's a completely terrible idea. It's better than doing nothing. But that's not nearly as effective as building a genuine relationship with somebody. You already know this. You know that if you were to go around that conference, take a little bit more time with each individual person, make them like you, make them remember you. That's the key to it. And once you have that connection, then you have to nurture it. Look at email marketing. Email marketing does this perfectly. You sign up to an email list to try and sell you something, you ignore it. Another email to try and sell you something, you ignore it. If they keep trying to sell you things every day, you unsubscribe. If they tell you things of value, a long email, a story, something that made you laugh, something that's funny, etc., going on and on, and then eventually try and sell you something again, you might buy it. That's nurturing a relationship, and it's exactly the same with networking. So if I have some very important friends, and I'll message them now and again. These are not, I say friends, is the wrong word. I know some important people, and I may not speak to them for 2 or 3 months at a time. But I will consciously either list the people I know who are important, I'll list the people I know who are high value, and I'll consciously contact them with things I do find relevant. So I'll give you, I'm not going to, like we said earlier in the course, most people don't give away everyone they know. I've only told you about the people I speak to. There's a whole bunch of other people I know I'm not going to tell you about. But let's me give you an example. He's a multi-millionaire in Dota, and they do consistent. So I will literally each month go through my list of people who I know are high value and I want to stay in touch with, and I'll see that person and I'll Google up something about Brexit exports, and I'll email them the link and say, hey, you might find this interesting. Don't know if this affects you. I'll be back in the country in a few weeks. Maybe we should catch up. Bang. So I provided value. It's not just me trying to get something from him. Not just, hey, can we have a coffee? I provided him some value. I sent him a link. He's probably already seen the link. He probably doesn't care, but it's a gesture. Oh, maybe that does affect him. Or even if it doesn't affect him at all, he'll reply, no, we've got all that handled actually. Thanks. Yes, Andrew, good to see you. That's a perfect example of how I'm adding value. It's not just a matter of, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? No one wants that. Because if you keep doing that, hey, can I talk to you? You're not adding any value at any point. You become annoying. Important people are busy. So you have to add some value in your correspondence. They're extremely busy people. So that's a little example of what you'll do. So I guarantee you sitting here right now, if I were to tell you to make a list of the 5 richest people you know, you probably know 5 people who are quite well off. You probably know a few millionaires. But how often do you interact with them? And when you interact with them, do you provide them any value in your interactions? Because if you start to do that, they're going to start to like you more. And they're certainly going to start to trust you more. And it's going to display competence. And let's say, let's say you know a baker who has 6 or 7 bakers. Yeah, he's making some good money, 6 or 7 bakers. And you send him an article on the cake that won Cake of the Year. Because all this shit's off the top of my head. Say, hey man, you think you could, hey, I just saw this. Do you think you could even bake something like this? Just above one Cake of the Year. It was really good promotion for them. Maybe you should do something like this, and just send it to them straight away. When they reply to you, oh yeah, and they're gonna sit there and think, oh, this dude's thinking about producing business for me. This guy's thinking about raising my profile. He's asking questions. He's doing things. He's giving me some value. He's giving me some ideas. So then, let's say that bakery company decides that he wants to up its market. You're gonna cross their mind. Oh, that dude emailed me about replicating Cake of the Year or trying to hit with Cake of the Year. That guy, yeah, we want a marketing strategy. And he's been emailing me on and off every couple of months. Not annoying me, every couple of months for like 6, 7 months now. He had a few good ideas. Let's bring him in for a meeting. Bam! So you've gone from knowing a baker to now going and sitting in a meeting with a baker. And that baker is looking to make more money. And you can sit there and go, I can guarantee you I'll double your money. I guarantee you I'll double your money. As long as I get X amount of money, or I get a company car, or I get this percent, whatever. I'm guaranteeing you I will double your money. That's how networking's done. It's not about knowing the baker. It's about building a relationship with that baker of value, so that they trust you, and that they like you, and that you prove yourself competent. This is the same with everything. Most people go through life never proving themselves competent. And I mean this. When I meet people, I'm never make sure I pay them before. Make sure I don't hide. I make sure I never complain about before. Hey Tate, how are you? Yeah, I'm really good. Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, the traffic is a mess. Dude doesn't give a fuck. Guy doesn't care. Oh, I'm tired.
That was unreal.
I was out last night. Yeah, I'm really good. Because people want positivity in their lives. If you're really good, they want to be really good. Why are you really good? Maybe they want to know more about it. This person's really good. Well, I want to be really good. What they say. You have to display confidence. You have to display the attributes that people want. And these are always positive attributes. You know what they are. Not just about being rich. It's about being a positive person, living a happy life. These are things that have to appear effortless. When you go and you sit down at the table and you're happy and you're smiling and positive, have this aura of competence about you, you're going to have people who want to do this. And the baker example is a perfect example. I guarantee you all know people right now. Let's say you work a normal job. Let's say you're a fucking truck driver. You know your boss. You know the boss of the trucking company. There's nothing. He's worth shitloads of money. What's stopping you Googling up a whole bunch of stuff about trucking? Or Googling up the biggest trucking companies in the world, how they advertise. Or Googling what they do. And just emailing them saying, hey, I was reading this last night, you might find this interesting. And building a closer relationship with your boss. Or the richest person you know. Nothing's stopping you doing it. You need to build value. They need to believe you're competent and need to learn to trust you. So, action this. Make a list of the most important people and most rich people you know. Start finding a way to provide them value without complaining. Get some money together so that you get the right place at the right time. That's the beginning. Next, a lot of people are only interested in networking up. Whereas you can do a lot of networking down. There's a whole bunch of people out there looking for a chance. Networking that way also is good. I said this loads of times. People say, how do I get rich? Find someone who will pay you $10. And find someone who's doing $9. Because that way, you de-link your time to your money. Time is finite. Look at certain amount of hours. Money isn't just finite. So if you find a way to make money without it requiring your time, scale it. There's no reason why you can't scale it. So if you know a whole bunch of people who are looking for money, or looking for a job, looking for a break, what you have to do is you have to vet and make sure you're on. That's what I mean by networking down. So everything I've just told you about networking up, you have to reverse and do it the other way around. So So you may have a younger brother, you may have some kids in college, you may know this guy, you may know a dude who works in fucking, let's say Blockbuster. He's the only guy. Works in Blockbuster. He wants a chance. Someone goes to, let's say you're driving a nice car, someone say, oh, they know you make money online. Well, how do you make money online? He says, oh yeah, well, you know, I've got a few things, I've got this business going. Maybe we can work together sometime. And then you have to get them to validate themselves. You just say, yeah, maybe we can work together sometime. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this course? Or have you heard about this kind of marketing? Or have you looked into drop shipping? Yeah, send me an email about it. And see how much they apply themselves. And what you're going to find out is maybe 9 out of 10 are time wasters. But you're going to have the one guy who really wants it. And now you have someone who's prepared to basically work for free in many cases. Work for free in many cases just to have a chance at life. And that's the kind of thing that can be valuable. Networking up is fantastic, and networking down is just as good. I knew a guy who said you need friends in high places and you need friends in low places. And he was absolutely correct. We could go through, in his town, we go through any McDonald's drive-thru, it was free. Go to any liquor store, the vodka was free. He knew everyone at the low places, and he knew the mayor of the town. So having people in low places is just as important as high places. So you're sitting here trying to make a list of all the people you know who are important. You now have an action list. You have to provide those guys value. Fine. But you also have a whole bunch of people looking for a chance. And if you're higher value than them, you're the value. Now you're the prize. You got to find a way to motivate them to work for you. And this is one of the biggest keys to networking. Because if you do this effectively, then you're going to be more and more. You're going to push yourself higher up the ladder. You can find a whole bunch of college students. Let's say you have, I'll give you an example. You can go on Fiverr right now. You could invent a graphic design company. I own a graphic design company. You can make a website. You can lie on the website and say you turn over millions of dollars. You can go to a graphic design college or know some kids who do graphic design. You can go to them and say you're going to give them all interviews. They have to design 3 logos. You can go on Fiverr and say you design logos for $50 each. And when people pay you $50, you'll get them to do it for free and you keep the money. That's just a very basic idea, but it's a very basic example of how you can network lower by just feigning. When I say feigning competence, it's not even feigning competence. You're competent enough to make a website. You're competent enough to get the jobs on Fiverr. So by just being competent and just coming across as a more higher value person, you can network down and get people lower than you to do work for you. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because if the people below you prove themselves to be especially competent and prove themselves to do a very good job, then you're going to elevate them. If you have one guy who does fantastic logos, he does them in 20 minutes, he gets them straight across to you, and he's ready to work like a dog, well then you're going to have a real company, aren't you? Because you're going to hire him. Say, okay, you're the guy. I'm going to use you all the time. I'm going to put more ads on Fiverr. I'm going to get more jobs. You're going to do them all. I'll give you X amount of money for the logo. I'll keep the rest back done. So networking down is a fantastic thing. It doesn't make you a bad person because if you find someone of competence, you're going to elevate them. And that elevates you. You now own a graphic design company. You didn't own shit. Now you own a graphic design company. Now you can be emailing all the 5 important people I told you on your list, the 5 important ones. And you can be saying, hey, just looked at your logo. Yeah, it's really good, but I've got this graphic design company, and I just had my guys have a look. Here's a few proofs. I don't know if you'd be interested. Something to think about. Let's catch up soon. Send a couple of free logos to an important person. Let them sit there and go, that's interesting. So you've networked down, and now you're providing value to people higher than you. The whole thing about networking is providing value. Walking around in a suit and handing out your business card and saying your name isn't providing value. You need to provide value, and if you can't do that, you need to at least promise to provide value. And if you promise to provide value, it has to be a genuine promise. Because the world's full of promises nowadays, and the world's full of lies. So if I was an accountant and I was doing a networking event, everyone I introduced myself to, I would give them some ridiculous compliment. I'd say, oh hi, yeah, I'm the accountant that guarantees. Yeah, I guarantee a lower taxes. I've never had a single client who didn't lower their taxes. Ever. And it would be so brash and so over the top that sit there and go, really? Really? Doesn't matter what company you're in, doesn't matter who you use, doesn't matter if you use PwC or Deloitte, the best accountants in the world, I guarantee you with 1,000% certainty, any of my clients, I lower their taxes. Now, that person will probably talk to you because you haven't provided value, but you've assured them, you've promised insane value. Now you have to predict it, now you have to fulfill it. But a verbal contract isn't a contract. If this person emails you and goes, okay, you're my tax bill, and you look through his stuff and work out you can, you say, oh, okay, we're really busy at the moment. We'll be back in touch in a couple of weeks. I'm sure we can work together. He'll forget. He ain't gonna go to court and say, I met this guy in a pub, this guy in a bar who promised to lower my tax bill, and he didn't email me back and sue you. What's gonna happen? Nothing. But at least you had the chance. Maybe you can lower his tax bill. Now you've got yourself a client. So you need to be providing value. If you're going to promise value, which is what a lot of people try and do. People do it like pussies. People walk around, oh hi, yeah, I'm an accountant. Yeah, I'm a certified accountant. Yeah, I've got some big clients. And yeah, I'm sure we could take a look. There might be something you can do. What does that mean? I've already got an accountant. You're coming up to me saying you could take a look. There might be something you could do. That sounds like it's going to take time. I have to get all my records, all my files, send them across to you. Maybe we can do something. I've already got an accountant who I've been with for 5 years, who does a perfectly fine job. And now you want to fucking I'm not going to bother. If you would have come up to me and said, I guarantee you, you're paying too much tax. You're getting ripped off. With me, I guarantee you I'll lower it by minimum 10%. Minimum. Now, I'm going to talk to you. That's how networking's done. I'm certainly going to talk to you. Now, if I send you all my files and you look through them all and you realize that my accountant's actually fantastic and you can't lower my tax bill at all, then you just blag it off. Blag is an English word for you, American. Blag means just like, blag it off. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Having a look here. I'll be back in touch in a few weeks. And you know what's going to happen, because I'm a busy guy and I've already got an accountant and I probably forgot about it in a few weeks. I'm not even going to chase you. And if I do chase you, hey, so there's anything you can do? Yeah, but we'll have to do it at the beginning of the next financial year. I'll be in touch a couple of weeks in advance. Take care. Just blag it off. Delay it. I'll forget. You'll move on. No one's going to court. Nothing bad happened. At least you had a chance to get my business. You had a chance to look through my account. If you would have come up to me and said, oh, hi, yeah, maybe we can do something. I'm an accredited accountant. You wouldn't have even got that far. So you've got to either provide value or promise value. And this is the mistake that people make with networking. You have to promise value. I said to Idris, with me, you'll win. He goes, oh, really? I said, no, with me, you're guaranteed. So if you get other people, I don't know, but with me, you're absolutely guaranteed. Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters out there, but I know how it was as an amateur. I know the mistakes you're going to make. I know the mistakes he's going to make. For me, Idris, for me, you are guaranteed. And he didn't. I pulled it off. But if I didn't say that, I wouldn't have got the chance. Now imagine he lost. What's he going to do? You're going to sue me? You got knocked out, bro. You can't sue me. It's not my fault. You should have blocked. I told you to block that punch. You didn't listen. I gave you the right instructions. You didn't enact them correctly. That's not my fault. But I networked myself to the top with guarantees. So you either need to show value, which is a guarantee because it's something already done, or you need to promise insane value. And this is the mistake people make with networking. When someone comes to me, because I get all the time, I get emails all the time. People say, I'm going to make you more money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, 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 pay me up front. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm going to say, no, okay, do it. If you come to me and say, Tate, I'm going to sell 10 of your courses. I'm going to sell 10 of your courses. If I sell 10 of your courses, can we Skype and talk business? No. And then just say, okay, every one of my courses I sell, the reference is going to be this. And I get 10 course sales and a new box that says this person's name. Then I'm going to be like, all right, let's Skype. What the fuck does this do now? That's providing value. If you're going to promise me you're going to sell shitloads of my courses, you better come at me with some convincing shit. Come at me and go, well, maybe we could try. Maybe this would. Have you thought of? Not interested. I've thought of it. Yeah, I could try. Blah blah. No, you have to come at me with pow. Now I know all you watching this are probably going to try that. It's a bad idea. I'm a hard guy to sell to. But to other people, that's what people want. Especially important people who are running businesses and making money. You need to either show them you can make them money, or you need to promise them insanely. Here's what's going to happen. The smart people, you'll get the odd idiot who will agree and pay you. Most smart people will want to see some money first. Promise the value, and then they'll say, okay, now show me the value. And then they'll do it. That's what's going to happen. And this is where the competence comes in. Isn't it better to be talking to millions and then replying to your emails and then going, okay, we're going to give you a chance, and then you might be able to pull off a miracle? Isn't that better than them never emailing you at all? This is the key to networking. I promised Idris he'd never lose. And he didn't lose. It worked out for me. It could have not worked out for me. But isn't it better that I promised him and took the chance than never took the chance at all? So, the bakery example. You want to start emailing that baker and saying, you could sell double the cakes. I guarantee you I can sell double your cakes. And he'll go, if he's smart, he'll go, okay, do it then. And then you're going to sit there and go, fuck. At least you have a chance. Now you have a chance. Imagine you pull off double cakes for fucking 2 days. Imagine you get some hot chick to stand outside with a tray. She's your girlfriend, so she's free, with a cake. You've given her a little bit of a script. She convinces people that these cakes are making some special flour or some bullshit and doubles the cake size. When you go back in there now and say, okay, that's just the beginning of what I can do. I can triple this. I can quadruple that. I want X amount. Now you're going to be having serious conversations. And that's what networking is. Show value for absolutely honest value. Stroke people's emails. Have enough cash to be the right place to go. The guy who owns that bakery, he might own bakeries all over the world. He might say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in talking to you. Come to our head office in Singapore. Now what are you going to do? Oh, sorry, I can't afford the ticket. Look at dick. If you're so good at selling things and doubling people's turnovers, you've got to be able to afford it. You have to. So, money's absolutely irrelevant. But the key to networking, you have to come across as super high value. Another great thing about this is also how you get referrals. If you start doing good jobs for people, and you do a good job, and you prove yourself trustworthy, or even if you're at least promising to do a good job, and people see this, then they're going to be the ones who refer you. Because it raises their status. So I'm the bakery owner. I own the bakery. You've come to me and promised to double my sales. You managed to pull it off. I'm out with my other friend who owns the fucking car. I'm talking about this to get this place. Now I get to say, you know what? I can double your turn. He goes, yeah, I know a guy. And this guy can double your car wash. Now I get to look cool for recommending you. So remember what I was talking earlier about motivators. Now I am motivated to recommend you because it raises my status with the car wash guy. Even if he's a good friend, I won't ask him for money. If I'm not a good friend, I might say, I'll raise it to this amount. If I'm a particularly savvy motherfucker, I'll say, I want to double your car wash turnover. You give me 20%. I'll send in a guy who works for me, who's really good. They could do it for money. But in general, people don't even work that way. People just like to feel important, especially important. Every the bakery's gonna sit there and take the car wash guy. You know what? You've got some good car washes. You're washing some cars. You could be making a lot more money. I know a guy who can help you make a lot more money. Yeah, he works for me. I found him. I trained him. He'll lie, but he's really good. And you know what? I'm thinking maybe you should talk to me. Because now the car wash guy thinks the bakery guy's a hero. Oh, wow, okay. So the bakery guy's motivation for recommending you is raising his status. And this is the motivator for most people. This is how networking is done. You do a fantastic job for one person. They want to share it. They want to tell others. If someone came along to me and did a fantastic job, I want to tell other people. I do this all the time. The people who rapped my Lamborghini, for example, they did a fucking amazing job. Cheap, quick, beautiful, rainbow rap, psychedelics, amazing. I'm happy to tell everyone, where'd you get that done? Oh, I got it done here, they're really good. That's human nature. So you either have to be providing the same value or promising the same value. A lot of the people you network with, especially at the lower level, they're going to want things from you. And because mutual relationships, we all understand what mutual relationships are and how they work. People are going to want things from you. So I know that 99% of the emails I get are people who want things from me. Nobody's trying to give me nothing. No one's emailing and going, hey Tate, want a Ferrari? Everyone's like, oh hi, do you want to invest in it? Do you have the time to help me with it? How about email today? Hey, my girlfriend is struggling to get Schengen visa. I don't
suppose I could keep you on retainer.
You would have said, hi, Tate, good to see you. I know you're really well connected. I'm having a very particular problem. I think maybe you can help with it. In return, I think maybe we can make some money together. Make it at least more interesting. Not just, hey, get my girlfriend a Schengen visa.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Can I get his girlfriend a Schengen visa? Yeah. But am I motivated to? No. But 99% of the time, people want things from me. And that's fine. So what you have to do is turn those wants into something useful. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, can I use your email list? I want to promote my product. The correct reply is, my email list you can't use, but when you build your own, I'll teach you how to monetize yours correctly. Oh, okay, thanks. He'll be happier. So what's happened? What's he gained from you? Nothing. What have you gained from him? Percentage of sales. Done. He'll come back to you and go, okay, I got my email list. Say, okay, here's how we're going to do it. I'll send emails, blah, 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 blah. X amount percent goes to me, this amount goes to you, and they sell all the time.
The enemy's top
So
barracks has
when
fallen.
people come to you and they want something from you, that's a fantastic chance to change it around, put it on its head, and allow you to take something from them.
The
There's another
enemy's
key
top
element from
barracks has
networking.
fallen.
And also, if you're particularly savvy, especially with important people, is this is how smart, important people think. So you can be aware it's happening, and pretend you don't know. So it's like one of the laws of power, 48-laws of power, is never outshine the rest. If you go meet with a really important person, you go, oh, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. If you double my sales for a week, I'm going to give you a chance. You go, oh yeah, okay, fantastic. You can sit there and pretend you don't realize this dude's about to make a mistake. Okay, great. You don't want to be too smart. If you're smarter than the dude, it's going to piss him off. I've had this a few times myself. I've had people come to me and they say this, and I say, well, let's do it this way. They go, no, this, and this. I'm like, bro, you're the one approaching me. I've got more money. You're trying to do business. Don't come in and tell me how things are. You have to be super careful. People's ego. And ego is more than enough to stop people. They'd rather lose money than damage. People are in jail. Jail is full of ego. You insult someone, they shoot you in the head. That's so important to man's ego. So you want to come along and start insulting people. No, this. No, you're going to be making lots of money off of me then. What am I going to do? That's not how you do it. You've got to play the fool. Yeah, great. That's a really good idea. I'm happy to do that for you. Yeah. So be careful. So very often people who come to you, they want something from you. If they're lower down, you have to change that to your face. Consciously think about how to do it. If they're higher up, they're going to try and get, when you're offering something, they're going to try and exploit you to a degree, and that's fine, because you have to prove competence. Being exploited to a comfortable degree to prove competence and make yourself likable is once again fine. Be very aware of that dynamic. Everyone is in everything for themselves. Every relationship is for themselves. You're with your girlfriend for yourself. Your love for her is nothing to do with her. It's for yourself. It's for your own sexual needs. So you're not lonely. It's completely selfish. You're with her for selfish reasons. She's with you for selfish reasons. And together you're both selfish and you both mutually benefit. The reason I talk to the bus driver is because he'll drive me and I give money to the bus, which keeps the company running that pays his wages. Mutual benefit. That's how interactions work around the world. There's no such thing as selflessness. It doesn't exist. So you completely understand this and understand the mutual benefits. Nobody's going to do anything with you if there's not a benefit for them. So at the beginning, if someone's really high value, sure, let them exploit you to a degree. Make sure the benefit is in their core. But once you've proved competence, that can change quickly. Once you've proved yourself to be competent, then they're going to want you. Then things change. If you're the dude who doubled sales, they're going to want you around. Absolutely.
To the enemy.
I prefer to stay in touch with my important people via email. I don't really like to use LinkedIn because LinkedIn is professional. That's fine for professional. If you're genuine networking skills, that's all about status. The money one, money maybe one. But in general, if you only speak to someone who's LinkedIn, are they really like, this guy's great? So it's very clinical. It's kind of like Tinder. The girl remembers that. So it's very clinical. So I don't even have a LinkedIn page. I don't even have one. I don't really use it for networking. And also, if someone's super important, are they really on LinkedIn? Like, I mean, you're going to meet some mid-level dudes on LinkedIn. If there's a multi-millionaire who has his own company, who has a coconut business in Greece, and he has all these boats, making millions and millions, fucking all these dollars, is he really going to go, oh, let me just quickly log into LinkedIn. Oh, I got an email from Mr. Random. Yeah, hi. That ain't gonna, I mean, that's my experience. But yeah, that's fine. I use email. Try and get people's email addresses. Try and have an interesting business product. And like I said, provide value every couple of lines. Don't fuck. Next is protecting yourself. So what a lot of you do is how do I make sure I don't get destroyed? How do I know that the baker is not going to see my ideas and take me
has fallen.
and that is a genuine, very real risk. And to be honest with you, that risk is very hard to take. You negate that primarily through making the do. This is my completely honest experience. I've been screwed this way. If I've done work for someone and it's been work and I've done a really good job, and at the end of it I said, look, I want some money, XYZ, they don't actually like me as a person, they are far more likely to use it. And if they go, you know what, this guy's and I know this sounds like shit advice, but it's absolute truth. This is why I do business without contracts. Because if you need a contract with someone to try and stop them screwing you, they're going to screw you. If you need a piece of paper and a court to try and stop someone from screwing you over, they're going to do it eventually anyway. You're going to waste a whole bunch of time in court with lawyers. Even if you win the case, they're going to claim bankruptcy. Chest connection. Claim bankruptcy and it's all over. The way it works is you have to make people like you. You have friendships with people. And people don't want to fuck over their friends. Because everyone has a conscience. There's very few people out there who are truly sociopathic enough that they're going to screw over somebody for a few dollars. I wouldn't do that. People who I know who could easily do that would never do that to me. Because if you like people, there's a few people on the planet you like, and there's a whole bunch of people you don't like. So you don't want to really fuck up the relationships with people you do like, especially if you're making good money. It's very rare. So let's say the bakery example. If you were to do that for 5 people, one person's going to screw you. You just have to eat that loss. There's no other way to do it. But the other 4 will probably give you some kind of recuperation for your efforts. And on top of that, especially if you have more to show. So the bakery example is perfect because you can say, okay, I doubled your cake sales, but I've shown you nothing yet. I know X, I know this, I know that. Even if you don't know what I'm saying. You've seen a taste of what I can do. Now they definitely know because they've seen your efforts and validated yourself. And you're saying you know a whole bunch of people. So if you're worried about safeguarding yourself, you're worried about being exploited, I wouldn't worry about that. Worry about getting the opportunities.
Your top tower is under attack.
More opportunities you have, the better. It may take 3 or 4 opportunities for one to pay off, but one will eventually pay off. It's better to have tried at something, had an opportunity to fuck it up, or tried at something, had an opportunity, did a fantastic job, and then that person screw you over, then never had the opportunity at all. That's my genuine view. Because I've been screwed over, I've been robbed for money, I've been through all that shit that's happened. But it never deterred me from making relationships and trying to get to high value places and do high value work, high ticket numbers, because sometimes they pay off. So you can't be too worried about it. And this is what happens when I was saying earlier about the people who are arrogant and insult people with egos. I've had people email me going, Tate, your email strategy is shit. And they're right. I agree. My email strategy is a bit shit. You need to do this, 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 and this, and this. If you do this, you'll sell this much more. I say, okay, let's do it. $10,000 a month. Say,
the enemy's bottom barracks.
Yeah, but how do I know I'm not going to implement it in real life? But it would have been better for them to have implemented it, start making me a whole bunch of money. And then there's 2 things that can I'm either run off with the ideas and skank them, and they're not going to get me. And then I have to pay them salary. Or I'm going to say, you know what, I'm making so much money from this person now, and they want this big. I'll make it 20 a month. Oh, they want 10. Okay, cool. There's 2 choices. Now, if you obviously you want them to pay. Most people are protective of their reputations. Most people aren't that sociopathic. And thirdly, if I actually kind of liked that guy, I wouldn't have done it. So let me give you an example. Let's say he agreed to do the work first. Let's say he started doing the work. I never really heard from him. He just did the work. And I sold products. And at the end, he goes, okay, where's my money? That's fine. If he did the work and he sent me an email, hey man, I'm up really late, but I've got this idea and this idea. Also, after this 1-week trial, we can do this and this. I'm really excited about our partnership.
5 seconds
Bang.
remaining.
Email me that. Or something else, or something else. And something else to make himself more humanized. Then when it comes to paying, I'm going to be like, okay, well, he's told me there's more ideas. He was up working really late that night. I'm not going to fuck this dude over. I'm not that guy. So that's a key element to it. And that's the same with all networking, is being likable, likability. And I can't teach you personalities. I can't teach you how to be likable. But coming across as human and making it clear how much work you're doing for someone, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if you do it in a positive light. Don't complain. Don't be like, oh, I have to work so hard. Because they're going to be like, well, fucking don't then. But if you do it in a very positive light, look, I really believe we can do X, Y, Z. We're going to take over the world, blah, blah,
10
blah.
seconds
It's
remaining.
fantastic. One of my last time I had a job was about
5 seconds
7
remaining.
years ago. And after, I can tell you the story, I went to a meeting to sell a website. Our market rate was £1,500 for the website. I tried to sell it for $3 grand. And I did that because I'm a risk taker. And everyone told me, all the salesmen in the company said, oh, that's too much, he's not gonna buy it. And I said, well, I believe that we can sell our websites for $1 grand. And they said, okay, whatever. And the guy bought it. Within a week, I was giving a presentation to the other salesmen because the fucking managing director couldn't believe I'd sold this for double. Sold it for double, and after I sold it, I sent an email to the managing director saying, hey, I know I'm new, I know you don't know me, I've just pulled off this sale for double. I want to sell all the products for double. Is that okay? Was if he's going to say, fuck it, no. I just pulled it off. He's going to say, yeah, that's fine. Why do you believe that? And I gave my reasons. I said, there's only so many people in the world who want a website. If they don't need a website, they're not going to buy one. If they do need one, and they're susceptible, we need to get as much money as possible from them. That's how we're going to increase turnover. I believe a few things to add some value, small things, another meeting halfway through the website being made, a few more updates, fancier PDF updates, small things that I believe we can really increase our value, and that means we really increase our prices, even though we're providing the same product. And I sent this back and forth to the managing director one Monday night, and on Wednesday I was giving a presentation to all the salesmen who've been there for years, and everyone hated
The
me.
battle begins.
I was the G.
Of course.
Now the best thing about this story is, at the same time I was working this business, I had my own business
when I give the
selling
word.
websites. So I was stealing customers from this company and doing it myself with my friend. But what great was, after I did this and I sold 2 or 3 more at double the price, I had so much leniency in that business that even when for like 1 month or 1 month and a half at the end when I sold nothing because I was planning to leave, no one questioned me. And I was the genius, I was the guru. I pulled it off and I just
Full sail ahead.
But that's an example. But that's a short story.
I'm
If
buoyed
you want people to
up.
like you,
Go.
that's a short story. If you want to make sure you don't get ripped off, make sure people like you. Trying to get contracts involved,
Fair enough.
trying to get legality involved, all that shit is not the way to go. Make people like you,
Set my jib.
make people respect the work you do for them, and be a nice person, and no one's really
to
out to
battle.
screw you. Someone might screw you. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm
change
saying it's
tack.
still better to take those chances than to not take the chances. Now, all of you watching this know people right now who you can contact and make money with. I don't say make money from, I make money with. You make them more
As
money
you
with a
wish.
percentage. All of you know people, but you're just sitting there going, well, how do I do it? How do I approach it? Because if I email this person or I say to this person, I want to make more money, they might think I'm an idiot. And maybe, well, what are you worried about? What's the worst it can say? No, who cares? Promise them something you say, and then find a way to deliver. Finding a way to deliver is the key. I'm going to finish this first video off because we've got 2 more videos coming for this course. But my business card, which I think a lot of you have seen, is not really here. My business card is a perfect example of this. And people always laugh when they see my business card. I think it's a joke. But it's 0% a joke. Maybe we should put a picture in.
By your compass.
And it says on the back, I specialize in the following: wars fought, assassinations plotted, uprisings quelled, whiskey merchant, helicopter hire, all this stuff. And people laugh and go, oh, you don't do those things. Wrong. I do those things. Because I'm a promiser. I will promise you these things. And if I believe that it's worth my while, I will pull it off. If NASA come to me and say, put a probe on the moon, I ain't got a fucking clue. But if I believe if I do that, I'm going to get X amount of dollars, 10 billion. So if I believe it's worth my while, if I believe it's going to save my life, whatever. If I'm motivated to do it, I will do it. I don't give a shit what I have to do. I don't care if I have to go and learn how to do it myself. I don't care if I have to hire someone else to do it. I don't care if I had to go to the Chinese and
middle tower
defect
is under attack.
and get them to do, I don't know what I'll do, but I will get it done. And that is the key to networking in most spheres.
You don't have to
Promising the
sign.
impossible, finding a way to pull it off when you have the opportunity, and doing so in a way that makes you come across likable, come across as someone people want to work with, building up confidence and
Sail
value.
ahead.
And then that's going to spread, and it's going to spread quickly.
Your middle
Another
tower
example,
is
I'll
under
tell you the
attack.
best example of
Fair
where this
enough.
has happened for me personally is with girls. This has happened for me. I can talk about all the high net, all the high value people. The thing that illustrates my point the best is with girls. Whenever I'm with people
I change
and they
tack.
see me go up to a girl, I get a girl, or I turn up with hot girls, and there's always hot girls around me. People think I want to bring this
As
people, I want to
you wish.
introduce this person to other people because he's the guy, he's the one who raises the status. He's the guy who can do this. He's the guy. And that's networking all over. Just purely because I've displayed confidence. Or I've promised things. If people have seen me turn up with 2 super hot girls, and then I turn up again on my own, and next time I say, oh yeah, I could get us unlimited chicks. Yeah, we can go get chicks. Any club in this town will go get girls. Any. They're like, wow, this guy, I've shown value and I'm promising value. If you do one of those 2 things, they want to invite you. So then next time those 2 dudes go out, especially if those
One
dudes are
never
millionaires,
steps
they're
into
going
the
to a
same
club,
sea
or they're going to
twice.
Miami or a different
Under
town.
attack.
They're going to start inviting me. I've had that happen. I've had guys go to me, oh, we're going to this, we're going to Miami. You want to come?
A new
Oh, I'm a
call.
bit busy. Oh, we'll pay your flight, bro. Because they're sitting there thinking, this dude gets pussy. I have something they want. I can provide, I've shown value and I've shown competence, or I've promised value or competence, and before you know it, you're getting invites. Before you know it, you're networking. Before you know it, people want to
This'll
introduce you.
trim your sails.
That's all networking is, whether it's money, whether it's girls, whether it's anything else. Come across as competent, either get people richer, make people like you, or raise their status by them introducing you, and you're going to find yourself
So
with a
you
lot
say.
of friends very quickly. And then you need to be selective about who's worth your time and who isn't. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with networking down.
Of
But that
course.
person you're networking down with has to be motivated. There's a whole bunch of time wasters, especially people at the bottom. People at the bottom, most of them are there because they're lazy. If people were motivated, they wouldn't be at the bottom. But there are a few gems you can find. But those are the
Your
basic
middle
elements to
tower is under
networking.
attack.
Watch this video over and over
Set
again. We've got
my
2 more
jib.
videos coming. Feel free to email me with any questions.
Yes, my strength grows. I go.
Strength of the government and the judicial system and your safety, right? This is the usual trade-off. So Dubai, which I love and I spend a lot of time in, the judicial system is extremely harsh, the laws are extremely harsh, but it's very, very safe. I'll accept that trade. If you give me a powerful government and a powerful police force, but you give me my safety to wear a $5 million watch, I'll take that all day. But you have countries like America and England where the judicial system and the police are dangerous and they can mess you up at a whim, but they don't even give you your safety. So now I have to be scared of the cops arresting me for no reason and the criminal killing me. So they don't even give me a fair trade-off. So in my view, if I'm going to live in a country with a strong judicial system and a strong legal system, I want them to provide me my safety on the street and the safety of my family. And if they don't do that, I don't see why they're seen as so strong. There's countries in Africa and Southeast Asia, etc., where the judicial system's a joke.
Full
Then
sail
fine.
ahead.
The streets aren't safe. The police ain't doing their job. That all makes sense to me, right? But when the police are going to come along and mess you up for not wearing a mask or catch you for speeding and wreck your life,
Fair enough.
but they can't even offer you safety, then fuck them. So I decided to move somewhere else. And there are countries in the world where there's a really interesting, delicate balance of a government and a police force which are not strong. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying I'm breaking the law. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying that minor infractions or tiny things are not going to be, I'm not going to be persecuted to the end of earth like I would in the UK for a parking ticket.
Yeah, it's
right?
mad because they literally say in the UK all the time people get caught more for speeding and like that than people getting caught for stabbing. and stuff.
100%, right? And this is what I even said. Like in Romania, you don't get parking tickets. You
Yeah.
just fucking park. You just dump the car. Nobody gives a shit, right? So it's just a different way of life over there. But at the same time, Romania and a few other countries in the world, a lot of them are in Eastern Europe, they have a strong morality because they're very religious countries. So although the police are not seen as a strong police force, they're not like the English police, they're not as well funded, they don't have as fast cars, whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually very safe because people just have a different view of life.
Yeah.
So it all adds up. So I moved there purely for small things, bro. Kept getting parking tickets, kept getting this, that, a letter. When you're living in the UK, bro, you get a new letter through your mailbox every day. Someone wants money for something. You did something wrong. You had some fun.
HMRC.
Yeah, you were breathing that day. Give us money. I was just like, fuck, why am I here? Bounce.
Yeah.
So I just left, and I had really good friends in Romania. I went to visit and ended up staying. So.
Well, why not Dubai? Because me personally, if I was to move in, I'd probably go to Dubai.
I understand. I completely understand that. It's a good choice, and
Because the only thing we've been, like, us boys all have probably been caught speeding, especially my man here. Yeah. And that's the only thing. They don't really give a shit about speeding like that. They'll pull you over, say why are you speeding, all that. But the second you commit a proper crime, you're
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I respect Dubai. I really like Dubai. And like I said, I even have no problems obeying every single tiny law down to speed if you're going to give me my safety. But if you cannot offer me my safety on the street, then I think that you've failed as a country and failed as a judicial system, and I don't see why I should have to comply with any of your rules. That's the basic understanding of it. So yeah, I love Dubai. I spend a lot of time there. And even though I live in Romania, I've only been there since the beginning of this year. I've been there less than 2 weeks. So I'm never home anyway. So for me, it's just a base. It's just somewhere to park the cars, right? So it is what it is. I'm always jumping around because once you have a jet, you can time travel. So you're time traveling all the time. So
is the jet yours, or how does the whole jet lifestyle work?
A shell company owns a subsidiary to a company which owns a jet, which I can borrow. I don't own anything. Hello, everyone on YouTube. I am broke. I'm a brokey. I don't own anything. You can't take nothing from me, HMRC. I don't have anything. I'm poor. I go to fucking O2 down there. They won't give me a phone contract. I ain't got nothing. I'm broke. I just get to borrow these Bugattis. I got really good friends. So, but yeah, like once you can fly on private planes, you can time travel. So that changes the entire scope of the world.
Yeah. I'm interested to know, you flew from Austria to UK, right?
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
How much does that private jet cost? I'm just interested in knowing jet costs.
If you were to charter that jet, it depends. If you have your own plane, you just pay for the fuel, and then it depends if you want to. I have my own pilot, but if you had a pilot, you could hire a pilot, and you'd hire an air hostess, catering, etc., etc. So let's say you owned the plane. In fuel, that might cost you around $7,000-8,000. If you were going to charter that plane, it'd probably cost 25-30 grand, something like that. So about 30 grand for the flight.
Quick question: is your pilot a male?
I'm gonna get all the feminists angry now when I say that I don't trust female pilots. Listen, women are amazing creatures and they're very good at certain things in the world and they're very needed. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that women are unimportant or unneeded because they're not. They're very, very needed. But women can't even park cars, G. You see them; they can't even parallel park. You gonna trust them in the sky? Like curb your plane? Fuck no. No, sir. Give me a man, please. Give me a man. Give me an old man who's in the military.